Okay, awesome. So in terms of implementation, um, I always find that this is an area that a lot of brands struggle with. So as an example, you have a content strategy, and it's you've spent a number of days, weeks on the strategy, and the client receives it, and it's a case of, oh, we actually have to implement this. And then for SEOs who are in-house, who work client side, they have this monumental task of trying to get different departments to actually work on this strategy. And a lot of the times they get pushback from it. So it could take several weeks if one is lucky, usually months, to actually have something something implemented. In your experience, how long roughly would you say it takes a client to actually fully commit to implementing recommendations?
Yeah, so I'll speak from a bit of personal experience when I was in-house at Optus, which is one of the biggest telcos in Australia. To get an article about a phone, which is a product, published, the fastest that I was ever able to turn that around in terms of me actually writing it and then managing all of the different levels of approvals and then actually doing the publishing on the site myself. The fastest I was ever able to turn that around was 7 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah. And I had clients when I was agency side in Australia that were in also kind of very regulated industries. And it took them, I want to say 3 months generally to get content changes done on the website. But then I've also had clients that were in really regulated industries and were able to get it done in a couple of weeks. So I think for me, one of the biggest takeaways when I was in-house that I've taken to when I'm now a consultant is basically that I get to know as many kind of people involved in the process as I can. So like any approval that it needs to go through, like if it needs to go through a brand approval or a legal approval or whatever other layers of approval, I basically, my main point of contact, I'm like, hey, I need you to put me in touch with like your favorite legal person or your favorite brand person and have them give me basically the cliff notes, the like major do's and don'ts in terms of tone or language or things, so that there is a much more likely chance of there not being like 5.5 million back and forths. Because I think for a lot of consultants and for a lot of kind of external agencies, that is where a lot of the time is in the back and forth. So everything that you can do to minimize that is good in my book.